Alright, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are Group 6, and today we'll present about the material classroom management. Next slide. Okay, before start to the explaining the material, I will introduce to all of you members of the Group 6. First one, me, Marta Deva Afifah, and the second one, Helnya Putri, and the last one, Hafsah Misbahatu Zalam. Okay, this is the overview of the table of contents that will subtopic that we will discuss about the classroom management. The first one is about the definition of classroom management. The second one is major component of classroom management. The third one is activities in classroom management, and the fourth one is several things that need to do in classroom management, and the last one is several things that should be paid attention in classroom management. Okay, for the first subtopic will be explained by Helmia. So Helmia, time is yours.
Okay, thank you for the moderator. I will explain the definition of classroom management. As you can see in this slide, aside in Peace Corps, classroom management refers to the teacher behaviors that facilitate learning. A classroom management will increases learning because students spend more time in doing tasks. And based on Ahmad, classroom management is the process of ensuring that classroom lesson runs smoothly despite of disruptive behavior by students. So it can be concluded that classroom management is teacher action which has aimed to prevent student disruptive behavior and maintaining positive class condition. Jadi, classroom management ini atau pengelolaan kelas, yaitu tindakan yang dilakukan oleh guru untuk menciptakan suasana kelas yang kondusif dan positif di dalam kelas. Dengan melakukan pengelolaan kelas yang baik, diharapkan siswa dapat belajar dengan efektif dan mencapai hasil belajar yang optimal. The next one is a major component of classroom management. So there are three major components in classroom management. The first one is content management, the second one is conduct management, and the third one is covenant management. Content management doesn't refers to the skill peculiar to teaching a particular subject, but rather to the skill that cut across subjects and activities. And conduct management is centered on one's belief about the nature of people. By integrating knowledge about human diversity and individuality at the same time into a particular instructional philosophy, in this conduct management, teacher could manage their classroom in a better and more effective. The last one is covenant management. This management stresses the classroom group as a social system, and teacher and student roles the expectation shape the classroom into an environment conducive to learning. Jadi ada 3 major komponen di dalam classroom management ini. Yang pertama nih content management. Di sini ini akan terjadi ketika guru mengelola ruang, bahan pelajaran, peralatan pelajaran, partisipasi siswa, dan pelaksanaan pembelajaran yang merupakan bagian dari kurikulum atau program studi. Nah, di indikator dari manajemen konten ini nih yaitu mengelola ruang kelas, materi pembelajaran, media atau alat peraga yang digunakan saat pembelajaran, serta metode pembelajaran itu sendiri. Nah, untuk conduct management ini mengacu pada seperangkat keterampilan prosedural yang guru kerjakan untuk mengatasi dan menyelesaikan masalah disiplin di kelas. Nah, di indikator yang ada pada conduct management atau manajemen perilaku ini yaitu yang pertama itu ada pembinaan disiplin siswa, aturan kelas, dan reinforcement perilaku positif pada siswa. And the last one is covenant management. Nah, di sini nih berfokus pada kelompok kelas sebagai sistem sosial yang memiliki keistimewaan sendiri. Nah, di sini nih guru harus mempertimbangkan dalam pengelolaan hubungan interpersonal di antara murid-murid di kelas. Adapun indikator dari manajemen kekonvenan ini, yang pertama tuh hubungan baik dengan siswa, yang kedua role model yang baik bagi siswa, dan yang ketiga antusiasme guru dalam mengajar. Okay, that's all for me. Back to moderator.
Okay, thank you, Helmia. Next slide, please. Okay, for this, I will explain about the topic for this slide. This is about the activities. Activities in classroom management. So there are two activities in classroom management. Jadi aktivitas di classroom management itu dibagi dua. The first one, yang pertama itu adalah students management, and the second one is physical management. For the students management, function of teacher is in this management is guiding and directing every activity that must be done by students. So management of students is how a teacher manage and places students in class on the intellectual potential and emotional development. Jadi di sini guru menyusun atau mengatur siswanya untuk based on the intellectual potential and emotional development. So the management of students includes, jadi poin-poinnya tuh poin-poin yang harus diatur dari siswa itu ya seperti as mentioned in the slide, behavior, discipline, attention, passion of study, and group dynamics. Okay, the second one is physical management. So what is physical management? Teacher and students' activities are very influenced by physical condition in class. Jadi di sini sangat terpengaruh oleh kondisi fisik kelas. The form of physical environment is facilities and infrastructure. So it can be felt and support by the interaction that happen in class. Jadi ini tuh berpengaruhnya dari aktivitas yang terjadi dalam kelas. Sosialisasi yang terjadi dalam kelas itu bisa memengaruhi physical managementnya. And the physical management includes ventilation, lighting, comfort, seating arrangement, and student placement. Jadi yang menyangkut physical management ini yaitu dari namanya aja fisikal. Jadi fisiknya itu seperti contohnya ventilasi, lighting, pencahayaan, comfort, seating arrangement, pengaturan tempat duduk, and student placement. Next. For the activities, and then we move for in teaching English, teachers should manage the classroom well. There are several things that need to do by teacher. Next. Okay. First one is teachers plan classroom curriculum to facilitate students to use English. Jadi teacher membuat plan classroom curriculum untuk memfasilitasi student untuk belajar bahasa Inggris. As mentioned in this slide, before the start lesson, jadi sebelum memulai pelajaran, the teacher should make a good planning. So, there are several steps that should teacher to do in designing curriculum. First one, decides the aims of the learning. You can see as mentioned in the slide. So, the aims should be suitable with the content of the course. The aims of English teaching to understand the English material given. Jadi tujuannya itu untuk supaya siswa mengerti dengan materi bahasa Inggris yang diberikan. And the second one is teacher makes the learning outcomes. So what is learning outcomes? In English learning outcome are what students will get if they follow the curriculum successfully. Jadi apa yang akan siswa itu capai jika dia mengikuti the curriculum successfully. For example, contohnya the students should pass an examination or test to check the result of the English study. Jadi keberhasilan siswa itu adalah seperti mereka berhasil atau melewati ujian mereka. Jadi hasilnya itu tuh adalah yang akan menentukan berhasil atau tidaknya. So the third one is the teacher design the learning and teaching method use. The teaching method use should be suitable. Jadi harus cocok, fun, safe, and comfortable for the students untuk siswanya. Jadi the teacher, guru harus mempersiapkan media yang akan membuat siswa itu cocok untuk belajar. So for the next is the teacher creates a lesson plan, and the last one is the teacher does the assessment of students' work. Learning occurs most effectively when a student receives a feedback. Jadi siswa itu akan menerima feedback when they receive information on what they have and have not already learned. The process by which this information is generated in assessment. Jadi proses ini akan membantu guru untuk achieve their purpose of English teaching. Tujuan mereka untuk of teaching English. So not only that, but it will impact students' ability and outcomes. Okay, for the next one is about organizing the classroom. So what's organizing the classroom? To make teaching and learning English more effectively. Jadi untuk membuat proses belajar bahasa Inggris itu efektif, organizing the classroom is very important. Why? Because as mentioned in the slide, the first one is about the sitting. So it is affect the student in this classroom. Ini tuh berpengaruh terhadap siswa. Soalnya the important one is enable the students and teacher get face to face supaya kayak physically mereka tatap muka itu benar nampak semuanya guru itu sama mereka dengan sitting yang baik. And through it, the teacher can control the students' behavior. The sitting will influence the fluency of teaching and learning process. And the second one is the amount of the students in the classroom. So, guru should decide how many students will join the class. Jadi, guru harus memutuskan berapa banyak siswa yang akan ada pada kelas mereka. Soalnya, kalau misalnya kebanyakan, maka pelajaran itu atau learning English learning process itu tidak akan berjalan dengan efektif. Jadi, so the teachers should or must arrange the people of the classroom based on the lesson plan. Okay, and the last one is making wise choices about the most effective instructional strategies. So, teachers have the idea opportunity to monitor students' academic process as well as vary their instructional strategies to suit the needs of the students. So, setelah selecting the learning objective and assessment of the course dan assessment atau evaluasi untuk pembelajaran bahasa Inggris tersebut, teacher need to think about the various instructional activities that will be used in engage students with the material and enable to meet the objectives. So there are several instruction activity strategies that can be chosen by a teacher. So we can see in this slide, the first one is the English teacher should make a good relationship between teacher and students. Jadi relationship yang baik antara guru dan students itu akan berpengaruh terhadap classroom management ini. Jadi normally or commonly when the students, jika siswanya itu mempunyai habit relationship with the teacher, the students will be happy, enthusiastic, energetic, optimistic, and realistic in learning of activity in the class. Okay, the second one is in English learning process, a teacher can choose discussion strategy in this classroom. So what is in discussion strategy itu? The teacher should arrange the question. Jadi guru menyusun kalimat-kalimat material or the problem that should be solved atau masalah yang harus diselesaikan oleh siswa tersebut. Jadi di sini guru akan membuka ruang diskusi yang akan dipantau oleh gurunya dan dalam proses itu maka siswa akan can find a new formulate the solution thesis discussed. In addition, discussion can also be done to find new things, whether it be new problems, challenges, weaknesses, potential, and etc. So then after the students finishing the class, the discussion, setelah siswa itu selesai berdiskusi, the teacher akan akan juga memberikan tentang resultnya. So, akan dikumpulkan result atau hasil dari diskusi mereka. Terus nanti teacher juga bisa beri reward bagi yang berhasil, bagi yang baik gitu. Dan reward tersebut bagi yang tidak menerima itu akan bisa untuk memotivasi mereka untuk menjadi lebih baik lagi dalam diskusi mereka. Okay, for the next strategy is the next can be used by a teacher is writing. So in the strategy writing, the teacher asks the students to write, and then for example write a short descriptive text. So after the students do the task, the teacher collects the students writing, and then evaluate it. Jadi kayak setelah mereka membuat tugas yang diberikan seperti writing tersebut, jadi guru itu bisa, ini kan commonly-nya kayak dikumpulkan ke guru, jadi guru bisa menilainya, kayak tugas tulis gitu. And the last one is prior knowledge activation. What students know already is great tool for helping them learn something new. Dalam mempelajari hal baru, this strategy helps students to feel confident in delivering their opinion about the lesson. Jadi membantu siswa untuk memberikan opini-opininya tentang pelajaran. Teacher has to choose wisely the most effective instructional strategy to make class runs effectively. Jadi balik lagi, guru itu harus choose wisely most effective instructional strategy. The strategy that is choose depends on junior high school students' ability or condition, junior high school or senior high school. So, from the activities, these several activities, can be seen that a teacher, guru, is a person that has a major role in learning process. Jadi kayak dia itu main karakter in learning process, especially to manage the classroom, khususnya untuk mengatur ruang kelas. That's the topic about classroom management. The major role that can be concluded from the description above, from the description in the text that I explained before, is the teacher plays a role in making wise choice about the most effective instructional strategy, and a teacher also plays a role designing a classroom curriculum. Okay, maybe that's all from me. For the next subtopic will be explained by Hafsah. So Hafsah, time is yours.
Okay, the next topic is several things that should be paid attention and in managing an effective class. The first class is system which is organized of certain of purpose. A classroom is an entity that has a clear structure and rules. Its purpose is to create an effective and efficient learning environment. Every element in the classroom, from the curriculum to the schedule to the teaching method, is designed to achieve specific educational goals such as improving student knowledge and skill. Jadi yang pertama itu kelas adalah sistem yang terorganisir dengan tujuan tertentu. Jadi kelas merupakan sebuah entitas yang memiliki struktur dan aturan yang jelas. Tujuannya adalah untuk menciptakan lingkungan belajar yang efektif dan efisien. Setiap elemen dalam kelas, mulai dari kurikulum, jadwal, hingga metode pengajaran dirancang untuk mencapai tujuan pendidik tertentu seperti meningkatkan pengetahuan dan keterampilan siswa. Okay, next, teacher is a tutor and model for all of students. Teachers serve as mentor and good example for students. They not only deliver the subject matter but also demonstrate a valuable attitude and behavior. Teachers should be able to inspire and motivate students and provide the necessary guidance to help them reach their full potential. Jadi guru itu berperan sebagai mentor atau model atau contoh yang baik bagi siswa. Jadi mereka tidak hanya menyampaikan materi pelajaran, tetapi juga menunjukkan sikap dan perilaku yang patut ditiru. Guru juga harus bisa menginspirasi dan memotivasi siswa, serta memberikan bimbingan yang diperlukan untuk membantu mereka mencapai potensi penuh mereka. Kemudian, next, group work has a certain attitude different with the others group. Each working group is classroom has its own unique dynamic and attitude. This is due to the different character abilities and way of interacting between group members. This difference can affect the work of the group and development of the individual within. Jadi setiap grup kerja itu yang dalam kelas itu memiliki dinamika dan sikap yang unik. Hal ini disebabkan oleh perbedaan karakter, kemampuan, dan cara berinteraksi antara anggota kelompok. Perbedaan ini bisa mempengaruhi hasil kerja kelompok dan perkembangan individu di dalamnya. Kemudian, group work influence for the entire individual. Group work can affect the social and academic development of each individual in the group. So, group work, students learn to collaborate, communicate, and solve problems together. This helps them develop important impersonal skill. Jadi pengaruh kerja kelompok terhadap individual itu dapat mempengaruhi perkembangan sosial dan akademik setiap individu dalam kelompok tersebut. Melalui kerja kelompok, siswa belajar berkolaborasi, kemudian berkomunikasi dan menyelesaikan masalah bersama. Ini juga membantu mereka mengembangkan keterampilan interpersonal yang penting. Kemudian yang pertama itu teacher ability increasing and managing individual. Teachers should have a good ability to manage the interaction and development of individual students. They should be able to recognize the need and potential of each student and provide appropriate attention and support. This includes the ability to manage behavior, motivate, and provide constructive feedback. Jadi guru harus memiliki kemampuan yang baik dalam mengelola interaksi dan perkembangan masing-masing siswanya. Mereka juga harus bisa mengenali kebutuhan dan potensi setiap siswa, serta memberikan perhatian dan dukungan yang sesuai. Ini termasuk kemampuan dalam mengelola perilaku, motivasi, dan memberikan umpan balik konstruktif. And the last one, group work structural is determined by teacher ability. Teachers play a key role in shaping and directing group work. The structure and dynamic of group work are greatly influenced by how the teacher organizes the group, set goals, and provides instruction and feedback. The teacher ability to manage the group is crucial and ensure that group work is effective and benefit all members. Jadi guru memainkan peran kunci dalam membentuk dan mengarahkan kerja kelompok. Kemudian struktur dan dinamika kerja kelompok itu sangat mempengaruhi oleh bagaimana guru mengatur kelompok tersebut, menetapkan tujuan, dan memberikan instruksi serta umpan balik. Kemampuan guru dalam mengelola kelompok ini juga sangat penting untuk memastikan bahwa kerja kelompok berjalan efektif dan memberikan manfaat bagi semua anggota. Mungkin cukup sekian penjelasan dari saya. Saya kembalikan kepada moderator.
Okay, thank you. And that's all from our group discussion about our presentation about the material classroom management. And for the end, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.